I don't. It's my imagination right there. welcome to all the brave people who've made it into Seattle Unity. Welcome. And to all you at home, staying comfortable, all of you join us. Stand as you are able, including you at home if you can. Here we go. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. Little step touch here. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the presence. I feel the presence moving in me. Yeah. I feel the presence moving in me. Feel the presence. I feel the presence moving in me. Yes. I feel the presence moving in me. I feel the joy. I feel the joy. Yeah. Moving in me. Yeah. I feel the joy moving in me. Yeah. I feel the joy. I feel the joy moving in me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel the joy moving in me, and I feel the love. I feel the love moving in me. Yeah, yeah. I feel the love moving in me. One more love. I feel the love moving in me. Yeah, yeah. I feel the love moving in me. Let's pray on that.
And so we do open to the presence, the power, and the activity of God that moves in and through us now and always. So let's affirm our opening statement. There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe. God the good, omnipotence.
All right, let's do I Feel the Peace, and we'll do it from a quiet place. And if you'd like to, imagine sending this as a blessing to someone who might not be in the room, or a place in the world that needs to feel peace. It starts with us. Here we go. I feel this peace moving in me. I feel the peace moving in me. I feel the peace. I feel the peace moving in me. I feel the peace moving in me. I feel the Spirit. I feel the Spirit moving in me. Yeah, yeah. I feel the Spirit moving in me. Yeah, I feel the Spirit moving in me. Yeah, yeah. I feel the Spirit moving in me. And I feel the joy. I feel the joy. Oh, yeah. Moving in me. And I feel the joy moving in me. And I feel the love. I feel the love moving in me. Yes, I feel the love moving in me. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, both in-house and at home. Isn't this lovely? We have this snow falling, and it's not sticking. We've got the best of both worlds. All right. So for those of you watching at home, you might want to list where you're watching from and your name so we can do a call out following the service. And I want to know, is there anybody with us for the very first time? If this is your first Sunday, thank you for joining us. And we do have a little welcome packet for you. And we invite you to come back at least 3 times. Okay, so this is annual meeting Sunday, and the annual meeting will take place here in the sanctuary at 11:30. So if you need to run upstairs and get a coffee or something, if you bring your coffee back, put a lid on it, and we'll have lids ready to put on your coffee when you come in, so we can. Anyway, and if you're watching from home, You can join the annual meeting at seattleunity.org/2025 meeting. I'll say it again, seattleunity.org/2025 meeting. Now, you won't be able to vote because we have to change the bylaws first. So we're going to change the bylaws so that next year you can vote. Okay. Second announcement. My class, Chart Your Own Course, is starting this Saturday from 10 to 1. And it is about what is your intention for 2025. And our group helps to create and keep you on track as you move forward. There's 3 sessions every other week. It's listed on the website. And you must register. So we meet this Saturday from 10 to 1. Diane is beginning a class next Sunday following the service called Abundant Living. So if you're seeking more prosperity in your life and to understand unity principles around prosperity, we invite you to come to that as well. Okay, so now let's turn to our mission statement, which I forgot. Let's affirm this together. We are a welcoming spiritual community, thriving and extending beyond the heart of Seattle, celebrating, inspiring, and deepening our individual and collective spiritual journeys. Can I get an amen? All right. And now for our online community, this is your chat prompt, which is, where do you most clearly hear the voice of the divine? Where do you most, for me, it's my pen. That's how I hear it. If I don't write, I don't hear. Okay, let's all stand and greet one another.
Stay standing as you're able. Those of you at home, stand up. This is a fun one. Sing along. Join me when you're ready. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. Join me. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive in the Spirit of God. I am alive in the Spirit of God. I am alive in the Spirit of God. I am alive, God, alive with the Spirit of God.
Do it again. Woo!
I am alive with the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
I am alive in the Spirit of God.
Oh.
I am alive in the Spirit of God. I the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God.
Oh, I am
Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God.
I am alive, y'all.
Alive with the Spirit of God.
Hey, 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 yeah. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Oh, yeah, I am
Alive with the
alive.
Spirit of God.
Hey, I am
Alive with the
alive.
Spirit of God. Yeah.
I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. Brian Emery, ladies and gentlemen. All right, as you're getting settled, I want to tell you about a class that's coming up on the 16th, and it's free. Yay! I'm using a little bit of music money to fund this one because I want something to be hyper-inclusive for anybody. This is called Embodied Imagination. Who here remembers who Leah Mann is? Yes, okay, so for those of you who don't, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Let's show us the first picture. So that's her. She is a multimodal weirdo. She's awesome. She's incredibly gifted, very, very well trained. She's the CEO of several foundations, and an amazingly inspiring human. Show us the next picture. She was also our youth department director for a while, and this was one of the things. She would bring in some artists, and they would do nutsy stuff. For the workshop, we won't necessarily be that nutsy. She's allows you to go at whatever level your body can handle, but there'll be some movement, there'll be some play. She's part of something called the Interplay, a network, so she's really a master of play. And this month, our theme is imagination, voices of the divine, voices of imagination. She is embodied imagination. So this is on the 16th. Show us another picture. That's something that she does too. She's part of kinetic sculpture, and she does visual arts as well. So if that's where your imagination comes from, she's equipped to help you with that as well. Next one. She's also a social justice master. So she's one of the people I look to train me about how should I be thinking forward-looking into more inclusivity. An amazing human. So I hope to see you on the 16th. It's right after the service. Again, it's free, totally inclusive. Thank you. All right. Now that we're settling down a little bit, we're coming to the more contemplative part of our service. In the center of that part of the service will be a silent meditation of about 3 or 4 minutes. So I encourage you to take off any outerwear, become comfortable in your chairs so that we can share that silence together in a way that helps it become as deep as it can be. But our first step into this new contemplative space comes through a reading from brand new board candidate Diana Suzuki.
Thank you. Today's reading comes from Daily Word, May 2024. My imagination empowers me to envision my good. The word imagination may bring fantasies and daydreams to mind. So much more than an idle pursuit, imagination is a powerful spiritual tool and an aspect of my divine inheritance. I am creative, realizing I can bring into manifestation whatever I imagine through the power of my thinking, my feeling, and I feel empowered. As I focus my consciousness on what I want to bring into my life, I am giving shape and form to that which I wish to experience. My thoughts and feelings, coupled with my faith and vision, become my life's experience. I'm inspired to use my imagination mindfully, aware of my abilities to bring my boldest dreams to vivid life. I visualize joy, abundance, harmony unfolding, fulfilling my imagination.
Shanti. hear you. Louder than the noise, I want to feel you. Closer than the air that I breathe. Deep within my soul burning. Speak to me, let my heart be awakened by the whispering of love. Pull me close to your heart, let the silence now be filled with your voice. Found in surrender, my heart is fully yours, caught in the moment, captivated by the unseen. Your loving heart for me revealed. Speak to me, let my heart be awakened by the whispering of love. Pull me close to your heart, let the silence now be filled with your voice. Words I hear you say, you've been speaking now for all of time, all of time. The words I hear you say, you've been speaking now for all of time, all of time. The words I hear you say, you've been speaking now for all of time, all of time. You're with me, you're for me, you have a plan for me, and I will never walk alone. You're with me, you're for me, you have a plan for me, and I will never walk alone. Speak to me, let my heart be awakened by the whispering of love. Pull me close to your heart, let the silence now be filled with your voice. Filled with your voice.
So we are blessed and grateful to have Erin as our music director. And today, February 2nd, happens to be her 21st anniversary with the church. 21 years, Erin.
Thank you. You have to do that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
See how they love you? Thank you, Erin. Let's just take a deep breath. Yeah, we're grateful. 21 years. She was only 15 when she started with us. Just a baby. So in our yearly theme, Voices of the Divine, this month we're looking at the voice of imagination. And the truth is we can use our imagination to create songs, stories, new worlds, inventions, solutions to problems. And we can use our imagination to write a grocery list, do the laundry, and clean the house. Our imaginations are both mundane and extraordinary. We can project ourselves into the distant future or the immediate present, from imaging a better world to deciding what you're going to have for lunch. So the imagination, obviously, is pretty versatile. The imagination is one of the things that separates us from other animals because we can imagine being a dog or a cat, but so far my dog or cat hasn't imagined being a human. At least I don't think so. Artists use their imagination to create works of art, and there is no limit to the imagination except what we put on it. So this week, I took a crepe cooking class at the PCC, and the teacher was from Brittany in France, and her whole thing was, think about making crepes as an art, which is good because crepes kind of scare me. Batter and baking scares me because it all has to be perfect all the time. And I think that she said this to us because she wanted us to open our imaginations to the different possibilities as to what a crepe could look like. It broke that idea of doing it perfectly. So we all got a chance to make the batter and make the crepe and do the whole thing. And when I got up there to put the batter on the crepe maker, I immediately saw that I didn't do it right. I did not put enough batter on it, and then you're supposed to move it around, and it was like clumped up. And I thought, okay, my first impulse is like, I got to stop, and I got to scrape it all off, and I have to start over. And right at that moment, she came by and looked over my shoulder, and she said, perfect. This is such a work of art. And she pointed out the parts of the crepe that had holes in it and was clumped, and she goes, it's just going to make such an interesting crepe for you. And where I had previously seen this crepe as a failure, all of a sudden I thought, you know, she's right, it kind of looks like a piece of art. And I stayed with it and finished it, and it came out just fine. It looked a little different. So I bought a crepe pan, so I'm going to be practicing. But what I saw as a failure, she saw potential for uniqueness. So again, the imagination can lift us to ecstatic heights or devastating lows. We can imagine the good that's manifesting all around us, or we can imagine every disaster that's waiting to happen just around the corner. It's the imagination that creates heaven or hell on this earth. So in the first book of the Torah, which is also the book of Genesis, we find the story of Joseph. Now, Joseph was the youngest son of Jacob, and he was the favorite child. He had 11 older brothers, and they were jealous of the attention he received, and his father even gave him a coat of many colors. So you may be more familiar with this story from the musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Remember that? So he also had the gift of dreams and visions, which fueled his imagination. And he wasn't very smart about how he was dealing with his brothers, who basically hated him because he was just the favorite. In Genesis 37, we read that Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said, hey, listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out of the field when suddenly my sheaf rose up and stood upright, and all your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. So his brothers said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And later, yes, that actually happened to be true. And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he'd said. Then he had another dream, and at this point you think he would have learned to shut his mouth, but he didn't. And he told it to his brothers, and he said, "Listen, I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down to me." So he didn't have a lot of discernment about keeping these kinds of things to himself. And not surprising, the brothers wanted to get rid of him. So they took him out one day and they threw him in a pit and they stripped him of his beautiful coat of many colors, and they put goat's blood on it, and then they sold him into slavery. And they took the coat back to the dad and they said, "Oh, we're so sorry, but he got attacked by a wild animal or something, but he's gone." Meanwhile, he's being sold into slavery, and there's a whole other story in his life about what happens after that. But metaphysically, remember in Unity, we're always looking at the Bible, the stories, the accounts from a metaphysical level. The coat of many colors symbolizes the imagination. And when we have a vivid imagination, it is as if we're wearing a coat of many colors because there's so many possibilities. But what happens when we are stripped of this coat? So Ed Rabel was one of my teachers in ministerial school. He was an amazing metaphysician, and he said this: "When Joseph is stripped of his coat of many colors and made prisoner, it symbolizes the state of depression when everything is colorless, dark, and in a sense, meaningless. When imagination has temporarily lost its color, its ability to give beauty, interest, and attention to life's details, this is a symbol of inner confusion and inner desolation. And the person finds himself depressed and depleted." Ed Rabel goes on to say that Joseph was sold into slavery. Where? Egypt. And Egypt symbolizes in general the realm of materiality and sensuality, and a prisoner or slave in Egypt is the state of a person whose thinking is all bound up, imprisoned in materiality and sensual anxiety and pressures for the period. You ever lost your coat of many colors? You ever felt like you've fallen into that pit where things are colorless and you're like, "I don't see a way out of this. I don't know how to get out"? So like Joseph in Egypt, when our imagination is bound by fear, materialism, or despair, we become enslaved because we can't see our way out. So if I ask you right now to imagine heaven, what kind of images do you get? What'd you say? Michelangelo's paintings? Sure. Harps, angels, clouds, a big gate, St. Peter standing at the gate, seeing if you can get in. Perhaps heaven for you is being reunited with your loved ones, with your pets. Perhaps it's this expansive reality. Now imagine hell. Fiery, hot flames, souls screaming in misery, the lake of fire. And where do these images come from? Well, one of the terms for hell is Gehenna, which was a garbage dump outside of Jerusalem where trash was burned. So you get this idea that when you say go to Gehenna, it means you get to go to this fiery pit. So our imaginations over thousands of years have created images around heaven and hell. But again, in Unity, looking at it metaphysically, we believe that heaven and hell is a state of mind. We put ourselves in heaven or hell, and it is current and here right now. We put ourselves through the use of or the misuse of our imaginations. So imagine heaven. Your life is heaven, right? You're grateful, you're healthy, you're safe, you're with the people you love, you're doing work that you love, and you're using your gifts and talents in a way that help the world. Take a breath. Hell. You don't have enough. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills. You're in physical pain. You're afraid. You're anxious. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's misery. It's hell. So the mental states are heaven and hell. And it's like that old Cherokee story about a grandfather teaching his grandson about life, right? He tells the boy there is a battle inside every one of us between two wolves. One is full of anger, fear, envy, resentment, and despair, and the other wolf is full of love, joy, peace, kindness, and hope. And the grandson thinks for a moment and he says, but which wolf is going to win? And the grandfather says, and I'm sure you know the answer to this, the one that you feed. So what is it we're feeding with our imaginations? Are we feeding the good, or are we feeding the lack and the limit? So this is the essence of imagination. It's what we feed with our thoughts, fears, or dreams becomes our reality. So how do we engage with the world? So that's a question I'm bringing up here. How do you engage with the world without falling into despair? The answer is the wolves. What are we feeding? Are we feeding fear or hope? So years ago, I studied the Holocaust extensively. I don't know why, but I became obsessed with it. And I read every book I could get my hands on, and it just became, I don't know. Anyway, when I was in Washington, D.C., I visited the Holocaust Museum, and I just really immersed myself while I was there in the horror of it. And what happened is that when I left the museum, I was physically sick, and I was sick for weeks. And what I realized happened was that I had absorbed too much suffering without a filter. I had no filter at all. I was just totally open, and I brought it into my body. And instead of me being able to bring in this suffering and transform it, I was physically affected by it. So it's a balance between how much suffering can you witness and take in without damaging your own self. So there's a balance in our world today right now between being informed and being overwhelmed with the news. And I think this leads to two concepts. One is desensitization, and the other is the boiling frog effect. Now, apparently the boiling frog story is not actually true, but you know the story. You put the frog in the water, you turn the heat up, and it boils because it doesn't know to jump out. Apparently that's fiction. Whatever. You get the idea. The boiling frog analogy warns us that gradual exposure to harm can make us complacent. Like being in a bad relationship and then you just get used to it, or someone in a toxic relationship or a bad work environment might tolerate small problems at first, but over time they escalate, and then you don't realize how bad things are until you are so overwhelmed by it you don't know you're in that pit. You've lost your coat of many colors. But there's another perspective, and it's called Mithridism. Mithridism. Say that with me. Mithridism. And it's named after King Mithrid IV. He lived a long time ago in what is current Turkey. He was an enemy of Rome. I think it was like 680 BC or something like that. Anyway, his father was poisoned. And so he grew up with this like paranoia that it was going to happen to him. So he went off and hid in the woods. So what he started to do was he would take poison because he wanted to be immune to it. So he took more and more stuff until like nothing really could hurt him. And his antidote recipe was so famous that centuries later it was used by Roman emperors. So the idea of building immunity to poison, Mithridism, inspired many legends from medieval kings to modern stories. So it's a new word we have here today. So in modern medicine, a similar principle is used in desensitization therapy for allergies. So you get allergy shots, right? You're allergic to peanuts, maybe you eat a little peanut. Maybe you're allergic to cats, you go nearby a kitty a little bit. So it's used in vaccinations where small or weakened amounts of the poison train the immune system. So small controlled doses of the trigger, whether it be pollen or peanuts, are introduced in increasing amounts over time, and this helps the body or mind build tolerance instead of reacting to it. And the person becomes less reactive over time, making them more resistant or immune to the original trigger. So when we take this idea then, what if we use this technique for handling the difficult events and news that we're hearing right now? Because The Guardian did an article a couple months ago called the Great Tune-Out of Late 2024. The people had withdrawn, that they had gone within, needing to do that. But if it goes on too long and it's too far, then all kinds of things can happen that we don't know what's happening. So using that kind of system where we're taking in just enough, but not enough to damage ourselves. So, what is your antidote? What is your antidote to all this stuff that's happening around us, or even in your own personal life when things happen to go wrong? I think that humor is a great way to introduce negativity in a way that creates space. It's not working for me right now, but it's worked. And you know what? I think that we have been trained for this moment. I mean, how long have we been talking and practicing our spiritual principles? I mean, what's like Eckhart Tolle, right? And Prema Chodron and Charles Fillmore, Ram Dass, be here now. Be here now. And when you're out there, to breathe, to stop and go, am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Am I hungry? Maybe. But being present to this moment and then doing what you can do, what is in front of you to do in this moment. Spending time with your family, with your friends, with your pets. A great antidote for me currently is being with my new grandson. And I don't get to see him all that often, but the best thing was just holding him and singing him to sleep. That was like, that'll carry me for a while until I see him again. Coming to church and worshiping with your spiritual community is an antidote. Emily Cady, Lessons in Truth, she said, there is nothing that can hurt you or make you sick or afraid, because greater is the spirit within you than anything that is in the world. And that is the truth, and that is what we need to hold to. To be strong, then take in the negativity with the intention that you will transform it, that you will know what to do and how to bring good into the world, that you will use your imagination and keep your coat of many colors on. I mean, Joseph's story has a happy ending. He ends up being like the governor of Egypt, and he saves not only his family, but he saves the Israeli people from famine and from disaster. So there was a higher purpose. Charles Fillmore said, within us are the great potentialities of spirit that, put into action, enable us to be, do, or have anything we will. So like Joseph, there are times when we may feel stripped of our imagination and lost in despair, but imagination isn't gone. It's just waiting to be reclaimed and put on. That crepe I made in class, full of holes, uneven, not what I expected. It looked like a failure. But the instructor saw something different. This is art, she said. So when you're making a mess, or you see a mess, go, hey, this is art. We could play with this and change it up. Right now we're being asked to take in difficult truths about the world. Again, it can feel overwhelming, like we're staring at something broken and we're unsure how to fix it. But what if instead of despairing, we saw potential? The world today challenges us to stay engaged without losing heart, to imagine something better when it would be easier to just shut down and tune out. Like Joseph, we may feel cast into a pit, But the power of imagination is still with us. It is our coat of many colors, and no matter what happens, we can put it back on. So we come in on a trail of stardust and dreams, and we are more resilient than we know. So let's meet this moment not with fear, but with the creative force that has always carried us forward. I love in 2 Timothy chapter 1, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Heaven or hell isn't a place. It's the lens through which we see the world. So, how will you wear your coat of many colors? As a burden or as a radiant expression of possibility? Because you came in on a trail of imagination and endless possibility. So I invite you to be aware, take in the antidote, and then live fully, completely, honestly, and for the good of the world. Amen. And remember, the annual meeting starts at 11:30. All right. So I invite you to give to this moment. If you're at home watching, and for those of us in the room, we can give through check, cash, or text to give, or the website. I invite you to give generously to this moment, to your spiritual community, and to the good. So let's affirm it together. I give willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply. I give with graciousness and receive with gratitude.
As we continue with our theme of imagination, let's do some Earth, Wind, and Fire. You might want to stand up for this one.
To behold, it is so Marcus Johnson.
So I'm going to invite our chaplains to come stand up here with me, those that are on duty. And just so you know that if you are in need of prayer, the chaplains wear the purple stoles, and they are available to pray with you following the service. So do not leave with a heavy heart, and if there's something you're celebrating, they would love to celebrate that with you. So I haven't gotten the prayers yet from home, so we'll just move on and see if they come in, and if not, we'll know that we're holding them in our prayers. So we begin by putting a final blessing on our offering, and so we are grateful for the generosity of this community. And know that you have created a vacuum, a space through giving. And may your gift return to you in expected and unexpected ways of good. And we are grateful. And so I invite you to turn your thoughts and heart to those that we wish to bless. And so we hold in our prayers Scott, Curtis, Carrie and Steve, Bev, Mike, Bill, Brooke, Mike, Robbie, Faith, and Jason, and anyone else who comes to your mind. Please speak their names now. And without knowing the names of the ones who requested prayer from home, we send our love, we send our light, we send the energy of spirit to each one, knowing that God knows who each person is and what each person needs. And so we affirm together our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let's sing one more closing song together. I invite you to stand as you are able. Hold hands if you want to, but it's always okay to say, not today, or just to sort of decline for any reason. The song goes like this. Wherever I am, God is. Now wherever you are, wherever you